Detroit sports right now on the Bottom Line.
There it is. Here we go. It is Wednesday, July 13th, 2022. Ermanni and Edwards, Bottom Line, Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Good afternoon to you, my friend.
What is up, my friend? I have to start by saying I had to run across the street before the show started to go to the gas station. My allergies are killing me. What is going on, man?
There's got to be something going on. We've got a lot of sickness in this building. Maz came over here because I have a headache unlike anything that I can even tell you, and he came over here rubbing on my shoulders. I think that could be allergy related or some sort of that. Oh man, maybe you could. Well, never mind. I was going to have a sick joke with something like that. But Tom Mazawey, good afternoon to you.
Welcome to the Headache Club, brother.
I know it's got to be something in the water.
I don't know what the hell it is. My neck's always been a mess, but I'm thinking maybe. I had, by the way, John Houston. He heard my calls yesterday about my migraines. He writes an email to me. How about that? One of our great listeners, John Houston, thank you. He tells me go see his chiropractor. It's my atlas in my neck.
Got to be the atlas.
I'm going to go check out and see if it's my atlas.
Is the road atlas?
So thank you, John. Just thanks for reaching out.
Do you know why they call it an atlas?
Why?
Because it's a map to every other sort of. No, I mean I don't know, but that sounds good. Sounds good anyway. Braylon, glad to have you back today. Big show for you. Today, we got Sam Webb coming on, publisher of the Michigan Insider on WTKA. He'll join us top of hour number 2, Michigan, the University of Michigan, with a really important day today that we can talk about in just a couple of minutes. They hired a new president today, and it is the president that makes the university go. Mark Schlissel didn't particularly care for athletics. Santa Ono does. And that's a really big deal. So many questions now. What will it mean for Jim Harbaugh and Juwan Howard? What will it mean for NIL moving forward? We don't know, but there's a lot of questions out there. And the fact that this president, Braylon, is a sports guy, for lack of a better way to say it, is very important. John U. Bacon coming down with that news last night, and then, of course, officially voted in by the regents today.
That's good to hear. A lot of times with with presidents, sometimes they tend to go way away from sports because they don't want to be about all sports. If you realize you're an institution like the University of Michigan, you're an institution like Alabama, you're an institution like Ohio State, sports is king. The way sports goes is the way the rest of the institution goes. Getting in enrollment, getting the right type of students into the school. Students come to the big schools for sports. So if you have somebody that understands that, you mix that together, Ward mixed in with Soto now, that'd be amazing. Excuse me. Yeah,
absolutely. The Detroit Lions in the news as well. Dan Campbell very excited about Jeff Okudah. We've got some NFL.com previews regarding the NFC North Division. We want to get to all of that. Also, I said I wasn't going to mention it anymore, but the Tigers did win a baseball game, Braylon. I didn't put a moratorium on Tigers talk yesterday, but I talked about how I felt it was rock bottom. And this team does nothing for me. They go out and win, great, good for them. But I don't have anything more to say other than that. The Miggy steal of third.
That was the best.
Great.
That's the best thing that happened all year.
Entertaining.
Better than 3,000 hits. What's that steal?
Better. It was amazing from Singel Cabrera. But no, you're absolutely right to say, hey, they won, we'll mention it and then move on. Because the Tigers for the last 2 years now, man, they just done everything at every turn to piss you off. You get excited going into the season for how they win last year, how they fared at the end of the season last year. You get excited, you pick up some guys in the offseason, you get excited, and what happens? You're even worse this year than you were last year after the halfway point. So why get excited about the Tigers? Oh, let me tell you why. They win, 8 games out of 9, you're like, oh, here we go. We're starting to get some momentum. And then they lose 4 out of 5. So it's no reason to get excited for these guys because all they're going to do is keep letting you down.
NHL free agency starts today. I don't believe the Red Wings have done anything as of yet. If they do, we will.
Did.
Yes, they did.
They had a signing. They signed a few players, but one big one,
Kopp.
Former Rangers center, what's his name? His name is Andrew Kopp. 5 years, $28.1 million.
There you go. They got $30 million to spend. They spent what, $5 million or so?
They spent 28 on him.
I mean, total. They got $30 million to spend for next year.
Yeah.
Kopp, Mata, and another player. Good thing about Kopp is, he wanted to get a defenseman as well as a guy that can score points. Well, he's a guy that does it both. He's going to be on the second line this year, making $5.1 million a year. And he's a good player. He had 29 points this season, 26 goals, I do believe. So, hey, if they like it, I like it as well.
It shows you what I know about the Red Wings.
It only happened about a half an hour ago.
Well, I'm telling you.
You had a headache.
I did have a headache, but that's no excuse. I'm just not that interested in
you
losing.
Worked the whole day
I'm not
anyway.
that interested in losing teams anymore.
I got you, buddy.
I mean, how many more processes can we go through? How many more rebuilds can we go through?
I got you, buddy.
I mean, you got the Tigers working on 7 years. You got the Lions working on about 70 years. I got the Pistons working on 14 years, and the Red Wings working on about 12 themselves.
Sounds about right.
I'm exhausted.
I got you.
That's very true. But it seems as if at least 3 of the 4 are trying to move past the rebuild phase. So, we got to stick with it. Now, we've been in the strum this long. You can't leave now. At least not those 3. Now, the Tigers, you can do what you want with those guys.
Fair enough. Outside of Detroit, a couple of things going on. In the NBA, apparently the Jazz are ready to listen to Donovan Mitchell offers, and still nothing new regarding Kevin Durant right now in Brooklyn. I got a feeling almost he's going to remain in Brooklyn. I just got this feeling.
Their play-by-play guy, God, I know him so well. God.
Not Spiro Ditas.
No, one of the best in the business, and his son was on Nickelodeon.
I don't know who their play-by-play guy
Son
is.
of a gun. Anyway, it'll come to me. He thinks that it'll wind up that he plays a year here.
Iron Eagle?
Iron Eagle.
Is it him?
Yeah,
wow.
It's Iron Eagle.
He
thinks him and Kyrie will spend the year here, go for a championship, and then go see what happens. Our boy in the back, Chris, he doesn't think that's going to happen.
No.
He thinks starting on Saturday, that's when all the big movements are going to start happening. We'll see how it goes.
We talked about it last week. I said I think I thought KD was going to stay put. I just didn't think there's enough that anybody can give the Nets to get him out of there. There's a lot of teams that they want to make moves with, but they can't because of Ben Simmons on the roster as well. It's just so much. I think he does a year, so I think that's going to happen. But man, this thing itches. But it's freaking nose. But yeah, KD, man, I just think in order to get what they would want to get for him, I mean, you look at what happened. I think the Rudy Gobert deal actually kind of hurt KD. I think when you see what they gave up to get Rudy Gobert in Minnesota, you would have to give away more than that to get KD. And I think teams are looking like, if we get him, like, is it worth it? Is it worth giving up all this, especially when we're building the franchise moving forward? To get all that is technically go backwards. So I don't think anybody would be doing that.
And he hasn't played a lot. Yeah. That's the kicker.
52 last year, 47 a year before that.
Yeah, you're dealing for a guy that's not his old self anymore. Yes, he is. He is the Slim Reaper still. He could still put it down there, but he's just not 100% anymore.
Deshaun Watson, news regarding him. The suspension is going to be levied.
We told you so.
Any day. Right? I mean, is it fair to say any day this suspension is going to be coming out now? I think a lot of people jumped the gun when they referred to a full season and indefinite ban of Deshaun Watson. Now has been lowered, seemingly, as the whispers come out, to what Braylon Edwards has been saying for a year and a half, 4 to 6 games. That's what it's going to be, 4 to 6 games.
It'd be 4 to 6. I mean, you look at it from this standpoint. You look at what happened last year. He settled all of last season. Now, that wasn't NFL mandated. That wasn't NFL based. It was something that the Houston Texans did on their own. But he missed a year. You look at everything that's come out. He won in both criminal courts. And when I say won, he wasn't found guilty. Let's leave it at that. He wasn't found guilty in either criminal court in Texas. With that being said, he's settled 21 of 24 civil cases. I think the NFL is trying to move forward from the situation. They're tired of being this is the only thing that people look at and talk about when you have such a good NFL coming up with all this young talent. You have the AFC West and Mahomes and Herbert and this new product that is the NFL. You don't want to be sitting here talking about Deshaun Watson in these rape cases or these allegations for the next another year past that. You do 6 games, you get 4, you move forward. NFL now can focus on the rest of the future and not no longer Deshaun Watson.
It is interesting because if you're the NFL, and again, we'll get into this in a little bit, but one of the questions I do have is I try to put myself in the position of Roger Goodell or anybody that's trying to levy a fine or a suspension against any of these players. When the full legal resources of the United States government or law enforcement come back and they determine that there is no criminal activity on what you've done, what responsibility is it to the next guy, a.k.a. Roger Goodell,
who's not legal, who's not law?
It's equivalent to like your boss fining you or docking you pay or putting you on suspension. You could do something that's not illegal, but your boss can still suspend you for X, Y, and Z, whatever. But it's like, what is that process? How do you go about that? I don't know. So we'll see what happens. 4 to 6 games, it sounds about right.
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
The NFL, they don't want to suspend this guy, but they
have to.
They have to. But they want the judge to levy 4 to 6 games. They have to have something levied against him to save face. They want the guy to play. He's one of the stars of the league. They're not like MLB with Trevor Bauer. They gave him 2 years. The Dodgers told MLB, look, we don't want this SOB on the team. No one wants him on the team. He's a bad dude. We don't want him. He was blackballed from Major League Baseball. That's what it was. Deshaun Watson, he got a pass here. He did get through the legal cases. He did. There are 4 cases still against him. These women do not want to settle with him. They want to see him burn. But he ain't going to burn. He paid off 20 people. These 4 ladies, 22. These ladies don't want his money. They want to see him burn. He's not going to burn. He's going to eat 4 to 6 game checks. Ain't going to be much. And he's going to make a lot of money. And the Cleveland Browns are going to be no worse for wear.
So we'll talk about that. Dan Campbell talking about Jeff Okudah and his limitations or lack thereof moving forward. Lots of NFL today, lots of college today as well. I want to get Braylon's take on Gary Moeller and why do we never give coaches or players really their credit. I'll tell you what I mean about that next. But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Want a precision haircut from a talented stylist? Come to Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win the car of your dreams from Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, no appointment necessary. It's wicked awesome.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. If you are watching on Twitter or Facebook, we will end that feed and move you exclusively over to our YouTube channel, which is approaching 30,000 subscribers, an incredible number for this network. We are coming up on 1 year here in August. Braylon and I and everybody on our show, Maz, I know you had been here well before that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
But on this show, which we began August 12th of last year, a pretty good number.
Not bad. We have crawled way up there, and we'll keep going, man. We're not going to stay.
Oh, God.
We're not staying all the way down here.
God, no.
I think the impressive thing about it is the fact that, since you start really getting into the subscribers, telling people, hey, if you like us, subscribe to us. We appreciate you pounding the like button. It was around 21,000, maybe even 19,000.
Less than that,
It was like
yeah.
19,000 back in January and February, and now it'll be close to 30. That's happened in the span of the summer where it's let's just say fall's a better time for sports. So the fact that it's grown like that during the summer was a lot to say about the fans.
No doubt about it. Please like the show. Please subscribe to Woodward Sports Network. And if you are so inclined, patronize our sponsors, because this is how we continue to go here. If you're having a work party, if you're having a birthday party, go to the Folding Warehouse. Get together. Go to the Folding Warehouse.
Absolutely.
Buy Gypsy Vodka. You're gonna buy a car. Go to Les Stanford. Give them a shot first.
You want a security alarm system?
It's a rainy day out today. You want to keep that tan going. Go to Chili Peppers.
Lady Jane's. Come visit us.
Right.
Come see the girls at
We're
Lady
right
Jane's.
here.
I know. We're right here at 15 in Woodward. Come
There's
say
plenty
hi.
other Lady Jane's around.
You know, there's so many other different people that we'd like to thank for their
how about
support.
my favorite?
Big boy. I was
This
waiting
guy.
for it.
I'll go
The
to
big
dinner with
boy.
you at Big Boy any night of the week.
I'll
I got a Slim Jim on deck.
meet you over there. Gross Point and Mac.
Let's
man.
do it.
Let's go.
So, hey, Braylon, it happened when you were gone, and I just wanted to give you the opportunity to comment on the passing of former Michigan head football coach, former Detroit Lions head coach, Gary Moeller. You know, and we were talking about this in the back earlier. Nobody ever wants to give anybody credit for anything. Gary Moeller won 3 Big Ten championships with the Michigan Wolverines. Oh, but it was with Bo's guys.
Yeah.
Lloyd Carr won a national championship at Michigan. Oh, but it was with Gary's guys. You know, and down the line you go, even until today. Oh, Jim Harbaugh won the Big Ten championship. Oh, but it was in year 7. Ryan Day just comes in, fills in for Urban Meyer.
but he was born on
Oh,
third.
but he was born on third base.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants to give anybody any credit for anything.
Not at all. Not at all. And even when the whole situation happened with Gary Moeller, I would shed some light on that. When things happened with Gary Moeller, when he was removed as head coach at the University of Michigan in '94, nobody wanted Lloyd at first. It was just like you said. It was like, oh, this is the guy. Moeller was the guy. Who was Lloyd? And blah blah blah. Oh, he won. He sucks right now. And oh, the national championship. Those are Moeller's guys. Lloyd Carr was a defensive coordinator in the '80s and '90s. He signed in the 90s when Gary Moeller was winning. He signed off on those defensive players. So those guys that came in, those Charles Woodsons, those Rod Paynes, those Sam Swords, those Jared Irons, those Marcus.
Sam Sword
Marcus,
was a beast.
Monster, Glenn Steele, Marcus Reyes, all that. Lloyd signed off on those guys. Lloyd's recruited those guys. I didn't see Lloyd Carr but one time in my living room. Now, when I go to Ann Arbor, I talked to him a couple guys. I saw offensive coordinator Terry Malone. I saw defensive coordinator Jim Herman. Those are the guys that really stand. They recruit. Same thing that Lloyd was doing when Gary Moeller was there, and the same thing Gary Moeller was doing for Bo. Gary Moeller was the one in those living rooms, maintaining those relationships and signing off on those offensive players in the mid 80s, and then at the end of the 80s and 90s, those defensive players.
How important was he to the University of Michigan in the later years? Did you ever see Gary Moeller around when you were at Michigan?
Of course. So later years, not a ton, but when he came up there, it was always well received. Like Bo was always there. Bo lived there. Bo
had an office.
Bo had an office right across from Mary Pasnick. Bo is Michigan. But with that being said, when Gary would come up there, when Mo would come up there, it was, oh man, Coach Moeller's in the building, and it's the love that he got from former players, the love that he got from the guys, the coaching staff at the current time. It just said a lot. I remember we did this huge, we did a conference where all the coaches, former coaches at the University of Michigan, spoke. And Gary Moeller, this is one of the first times Gary Moeller has spoke at Michigan in a very long time. This would have been my junior year going into 2003, and he spoke. Bump was still alive. Bump spoke. Bo spoke. Lloyd spoke. But everybody was on pins and needles just watching when Gary spoke. It had been forever since Coach Moeller had spoken at the University of Michigan. So I think he was well-loved. I think he's well-liked. And to this day, he still has that, well, rest in peace, to this day before Monday, he still had that cachet. You mentioned his name. Guys get excited. Guys talk about him recruiting them. Guys talk about what type of coach he was. Hell, I remember when he got to Cincinnati in '95, they drafted Kajana Carter. And Kajana Carter won the Heisman, #1 pick overall at running back. They play against the Lions, his preseason game. He tore his ACL in the game. I remember that. He tore his ACL, and I saw Coach Moeller in the tunnel. This is back in '94, '95, the Lions tunnel. Saw him in the tunnel. He's like, how about that guy tearing his ACL, man? So much for our season. Now, he's talking to me like he's just He's a hell of a guy, man.
That's great. And, I just want to give you an opportunity because I look at Gary Moeller very fondly. And we were talking to Jim Brandstatter yesterday, Braylon, and I almost feel like Gary Moeller, a large part of his legacy is going to be what if. He's the what if guy. What would his Michigan career have looked like if he that night at the Excalibur didn't happen? What would his Detroit Lions career have been like if Paul Ettinger didn't make that kick and the Lions make the playoffs that year? Perhaps Matt Millen never comes here to Detroit. He's the what if guy to me.
Let me ask you this, Braylon. You were a player. If Coach Moeller did not get fired by Michigan and you were on that Michigan team, would you have been okay if he was still your coach?
I would have. I would have been. People make mistakes. How do you respond from a mistake? I've seen a lot of players get the opportunity. Obviously, players get more ops in situations like that than coaches do. But I've seen players make some big mistakes and given another opportunity. I mean, you saw it happen with Nick Saban and Musa Muhammad, and the list goes on. So I think I wouldn't have had a problem with it. And it's also about how do you respond. Going back to something we were just talking about with the coaching, it says more about the guys that hire these guys. Look at Bo. Bo hired Gary Moeller. And then Gary Moeller was a guy, and he brought him up, and he had the faith, and had the trust, and had the respect. That's why Moeller was a defensive coordinator. He was an offensive coordinator. He was a position coach, and he took over when he was ready. Lloyd was the same way. Gary Moeller brought him up after Bo put him on the staff. Lloyd came up under Gary Moeller, put him in the game. Lloyd was ready when Gary Moeller went on to greener pastures. Lloyd was ready. It talks about the guys that bought them and raised them beforehand, Bo and Gary Moeller.
Tell everyone in our YouTube chat, in case they don't know about the Musa Muhammad story.
I was just looking for it actually to play, right? Go
ahead, please.
And I'm just looking for it on Twitter and YouTube right now. So there was a player at Alabama that got in trouble, and everybody was asking Nick Saban or thought Nick Saban should have kicked him off the team. And Saban did not kick that player off the team. He kept the player on the team and was heavily criticized for doing that. And I'm not going to be exact here. This is because it's been paraphrasing because it's been so long since I've seen it. But at that press conference while at Alabama, Nick Saban referred to a time when he was the head coach at Michigan State.
Right.
When a guy by the name of Musa Muhammad
played for the Panthers
got in trouble, and everybody said, you got to kick this guy off the team. You got to kick this guy off the team. So he was left with a decision to make. Do I kick this player off the team and just allow him to go in space with potentially no future? This mistake that he made was going to be his legacy. Or was I going to keep this player on the team, make him wake up at 5 a.m. every day, do gassers, commit himself to earning his spot back on the team? And ultimately, Musa Muhammad went on to be a captain at Michigan State, play 12 years in the National Football League, accumulate tens of millions of dollars,
62 touchdowns,
and have
Super Bowl MVP,
and have like 4 kids or whatever, and is a very productive, has charities and all these things, just because of Nick Saban's decision to allow him to earn his way back on the team instead of just
to not give up on
discarding a human being like they're garbage.
He basically, in 1992, he got caught on marijuana possession, and then violation of his probation in 93, he got caught with a gun in his glove compartment. And so Nick Saban was faced with a decision. What do I do? Musa says it's not my gun. It should have been the glove box. Whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. He decides not to get rid of him. He decides to make a lot of undisclosed things that he had to do. And the rest is history. He is a very, very, very valuable member of society. But once again, Nick Saban gave him that opportunity.
So I want to stick with college football if I can for a little while, gents. Michigan's got a new president today, and otherwise I wouldn't think this is a big deal or not. But in this world of NIL, I do believe this is a big deal. I do believe college presidents now will have the ability and the latitude to determine which teams and which programs do what. So I want to explore that a little bit with you guys. We'll do that with Sam Webb coming up in the top of the hour in about 35 minutes from now. Also, we'll get into some Detroit Lions talk, but I want to explore who is Santa Ono, the new president of the Michigan University of Michigan. We'll be right back, but first a message from Chili Peppers Tanning.
All right, and if you join the Pepper Club, especially on a day like today, go get yourself some vitamin D. And if you join the Pepper Club, they're going to save you at least $5 against all competitors on unlimited tanning and more. The cleanest salons in the D. You get to meet the Pepper Girls. That's right. They're going to take great care of you and they beat everybody. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations, more on the way, 2 right here on Woodward. ChiliPeppersTanning.com for more information.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey everybody, it's the Ciabatta Summer at Big Boy. That's right, hand dip shakes and more, all at Big Boy this summer. Try a chicken club, a chicken cordon bleu, or a sunrise ham and cheese, all on our grilled ciabatta bread. Gorgeous, it's delicious, I'm telling you. Keep it right there and keep it light as well with the Michigan apple or chicken Caesar or Greek salad. Don't forget to cool it off after that with a nice hand-dipped cookies and cream, little chocolate or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better at Big Boy.
Thanks for being with us. Thanks for making us part of your day. Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch. We got Flannel in the house as well. Guys, we want to talk a little Michigan football, a little University of Michigan update. Santa Ono was named and voted in by the Board of Regents as the next president of the University of Michigan. Maz, you have some quotes over there, too, that I want to get to in just a moment. But by all accounts, this guy is an amazing choice for the job. John U. Bacon put out the news last night that this was going to be the selection, and that if you like Michigan football, if you like Michigan basketball, if you like Michigan athletics, this is a good day for you because Santa Ono is pro sports. He loves sports. And if you are at a university where the president of said university does not like sports, they can make things extremely difficult for your ADs, for your head coaches. And you know what happens at that point? You start not getting the best people. Your coaches want to leave. They want to go elsewhere. Your ADs want to leave. They want to go elsewhere. Money to the facilities doesn't get. There's a lot of different reasons why you need a president that supports athletics. For whatever reason, Mark Schlissel knew nothing about athletics, didn't care about athletics, and that was a big problem, I think, for a lot of people at Michigan. But that's not the case. The importance of Braylon of the president is huge.
I think also, right now you see the way in which sports is changing. You know what I'm saying? In the college landscape, how sports is changing. You got to have an individual that's willing to keep up. You got to have an individual that's willing to work with the AD to keep the pulse and say, hey, how can we make sports better? How can we get the athletes that we want to have, But at the same time, how can we get the athletes that we need to have to compete with Ohio State, with USC, with Alabama? And this is across all sports, not just football and basketball, but all sports. How do we maintain and how do we get better moving forward? And I think Santa, just listening to the quotes that you've read so far and what Maz was talking about, just listening seems like he understands what Michigan takes to work. Seems like he has his finger on that pulse. And I think he, as well as Ward Manuel, can work well together in this new day and age in college sports.
This is from Alexander Zuniga from the Michigan Insider, who is a partner, of course, with Sam Webb. Santa J. Ono today on Michigan Athletics. I want to do everything I can to make sure Michigan competes at the highest level. Santa Ono also says Michigan has one of the best athletic directors anywhere, a pretty good football coach, too. Santa Ono also. I think it's going to be helpful to have a president who has been at the table during conference realignment. He emphasizes he will do everything he can to help coaches and programs so Michigan compete at the highest level. He goes on with that. So he's into it, man.
Forward-thinking former president of University of Cincinnati. He was at British Columbia in Vancouver most recently, but he was at University of Cincinnati, so that's what he's referring to when you talk about being at the table for conference realignment. And I do believe, just reading up on him, he's a forward thinker. You know, he's got big ideas. You know, he probably likes USC and UCLA coming to the Big Ten. You know, I mean, because you're now trying to make that Big Ten SEC the two dominant conferences, which they now are and have been for some time, the preeminent college conferences in college football. This is what I like about him, too, more than anything I've read about him, and I have done some reading up on him. He's got a connection to the people in the communities on the campus of that where he's at.
Places he's been, yeah.
The students, the faculty, the community, the relationships that he has had. That's what I like about it. Because so many times you got all these presidents.
He doesn't look like a stuffed shirt. He doesn't look like a stuffed shirt.
You got these presidents that raise their nose.
Hello, I'm Tom Goss.
How would you like to go to Harvard? What about the law quad?
Mary Sue Coleman.
Are we doing some upgrades to the law quad? Screw that. It's about the people.
Visibility.
Get on campus. Walk through the students.
It's visibility. You know, one thing, and obviously it's a different position, but you talk about the owners in the NFL. You talk about owners in sports. The ones that are visible, the ones that are there, the ones that are in the communities, the ones that you see all the time. Those are owners that you want to play for. Those are the owners that you want to have part of your team. I think it's kind of similar with the presidents of an institution, president of a university. Those presidents that are there on the ground, they're in the classrooms, they're messing around, they're walking on there. You see them in the in Schemberkler Hall, you see him in Cliff King, you see him in Weidenbach, you see him in various places. They want to be seen because they want to be around what's going on. They want to be able to answer questions if you have them. And I think this is something that you're going to see out of Santa Ono. He wants to be everywhere to make Michigan better. I think Michigan has a chance to be better with him.
You want to play for Mark Cuban, or you want to play for James Dolan in New York? I mean, I think that's
Mark Cuban for 100, please.
There you go. It's this guy that really.
It's really what it is.
He doesn't look like a stuffed shirt.
Tom.
Yeah.
That's a great comparison.
There you go. I would do anything to play on Mark Cuban's team. I would do anything.
Do you want to work for Chad Johnson here?
Oh, there you go.
Or do you want to go work for?
I can name any other boss.
Any other CEO in corporate America.
Yeah.
I mean, just come on.
That's it.
And I think he's one of the guys that a lot of people.
I think you want energy. Like, you want young, youthful energy. And you don't have to necessarily be young, but you want that energy. I think just reading, look at his facial expressions, and listening to his quotes in the article so far, it seems like energy. It seems like he's bringing some positive energy and some purposeful, intentful energy to the University of Michigan, and that is something I think I want to be a part of.
How long has he been with Cincinnati?
He's with British Columbia now, University of British Columbia in Vancouver, but he was previously in Cincinnati, I believe from 15 to 18, 2012 to 2018, something like that.
They did good things under him.
They did great things under him. University of Cincinnati.
He basically put them on the map.
He basically, all the things that they instituted when he was there is, they're getting the fruits of that labor now.
Yes.
And by the way,
you spoke about that earlier. They're picking the fruit off the tree that he planted.
Right, exactly.
There you go.
I will say he was named in 2015 the hottest presidents in America.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? Look, it's cool street cred, right?
I'll take
it's
it.
Cool street cred.
I'll take it.
Hottest presidents.
Yeah,
Like
adds a little bit there to the university. So good for University of Michigan. We'll talk to Sam Webb about it. What does it mean? Would Michigan kind of get weigh in? I know they're in on NIL. I know they're in on NIL. Will they go all in, dive in on NIL? Perhaps with this president here. We'll figure that out in the days, weeks, years, months to come. Guys, Dan Campbell had some interesting comments about Jeff Okudah. We'll have that for you next. Also, an NFC North preview put up on NFL.com. What is the Lions question marks as they head to camp? We'll have those for you. And what is the biggest addition and biggest departure? I'll break those down, comment on that. We'll have it all next. But first, a message from Syntron.
The summer of Syntron is here, and now Syntron is available at select Kroger locations. Go to CyntronWorld.com to find out which Kroger locations these are. I'm pretty sure because they will be everywhere. They'll be at a Kroger near you. Proud partners of the Detroit Pistons as well as the Red Wings and Tigers. Drink it, live it with Syntron. Let them be a part of the journey.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
All summer long, the Monroe Street Midway is open in downtown Detroit. Enjoy basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art, live music, food trucks, and more. A fun, safe event for everyone between the ages of 1 and 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more info. Again, that is deckedoutdetroit.com.
Guys, let's put it up right now. Dan Campbell on Jeff Okudah. I feel like Jeff Okudah is the most intriguing player to me that is not a rookie. Obviously, Jamison Williams, Aiden Hutchinson, we want to see what those players are going to be for the Detroit Lions. We have not seen them in uniform. We haven't seen Jeff Okudah a lot either. However, he is, to me, the most intriguing player on this roster. Here's what Dan Campbell had to say about him. You watch him with his footwork and the things that he's doing, he can do all of that. When the time's right to go full speed, we can get him in camp. He'll be ready. He is going to be full speed. He is going to be ready, and he is going to help this team this year. If Jeff Okudah plays 16, 17 games, I'll give him 15. The Lions are making the playoffs. If Jeff Okudah stays healthy, he is the key defensively for the Detroit Lions. And that might be a lot or a big statement or just saying something in the month of July when there's nothing going on. But I am that high on Jeff Okudah this year.
So high.
I won't say he might be. I won't say that he's necessarily like the key piece, but he's a major piece in that situation. And the reason why is you got a guy now. You have Charles Harris on defensive line. You pay him money this year because it's 7.5 sacks last year. Introduce Aiden Hutchinson this year. Big Ten all Player of the Year last year. Finished runner-up in the Heisman. Number 2 pick overall to the Detroit Lions. That guy is going to come off the end. He's going to make some plays. If you can get guys in the secondary, if you can get Tracy Walker doing his job, if you can get Ermanni Oruwariye to play as well as he played last year, maybe even a bit better, and I'll add Jeff Okudah to that, you can get a lot of coverage sacks. When you're covering guys, when guys can't get open, quarterbacks starting to pat that ball, they start to get happy feet, that's when you get coverage sacks, and he can be a large part of that. Look, he's essentially This is his rookie year for him.
Yep.
He got drafted under Quintricia, and we know how we all berate them and talk about how bad they were, from coaching to just everything, how they treated players. Well, guess what? He got drafted in that regime, and now he gets injured. So now all he's heard and all he's seen is bad coaching, bad management, and then people in the community talking about, oh, he's a bust, he's a bum, he won't live up to that number 3. Did he quit? Did he stop? Nah. He's been busting his ass since last year. We've seen the footage. We've seen the film. And now he's full go. This guy is ready to play. And I think it's essentially like having 3 first-round picks when you enter the season this year.
That's a great way to look at it.
2022, it's 3 first-round picks.
But we really have no idea how good he is, right?
Well,
we really don't.
See, I don't know, because I did watch him play almost every game he ever played at Ohio State. You know, I mean,
was he really?
Yes.
Was he really that good?
He was really that good at Ohio State. Now, they just beat ass every week, you know, when you're at Ohio State. So you don't really know, because they just pound everybody. It's kind of like, how good are these Georgia guys, right?
Yeah,
I mean, how good are these Georgia guys going to be in the NFL? Because, you know, when they all play next to each other, they're all great players.
They're a team.
They're all better than the team they're playing against. They all look way better at Georgia maybe than they'll look individually on an NFL roster. But I feel the same way about Okudah, right? I mean, defensively at Ohio State, now last year notwithstanding, pretty darn good players, you know, at Ohio State. So I think there's an opportunity for him to be a very good player. He's got a lot of talent.
I hope you're right.
Not to mention, if you don't want to go back to when Jeff Okudah played, and maybe a couple years before that, you knew 3 positions were going to be good at Ohio State. Actually 4, damn near every position. Yeah. But you knew 3 positions for sure were going to be good. Defensive back, D-line, wide receiver, and running back. You know those guys are going to be, and I'm not talking about just good at university. I mean, at Ohio State University. I'm talking about it's going to transfer over into the NFL. J.K. Dobbins doesn't get hurt last year. That Baltimore Ravens is a whole different team. Chase Young, his first year, you saw him. He got injured. If he doesn't get hurt last year, the Washington Commanders are a much different team. Denzel Ward, the highest paid defensive back in the league, Cleveland Browns last year. He changed the game from the time the word go when he got into Cleveland. I think Jeff Okudah is at a position. DB, you see Marshawn Lattimore is another guy that plays well. He was defensive player of the year, or defensive rookie of the year. DB out of Ohio State. Jeff Okudah has that potential. He has that talent. He showed it on the field when he was at Ohio State. I think now he's got people believing in him again, because that's all it takes to be successful is have skill and have somebody believe in you, and that's what he did at Ohio State. So I think this year he'll get him believing in himself, and he also remembered that he went to, I hate to say it, but for the sake of this conversation, I said that he went to that school.
Yeah, and you know we're going to see a lot of him on Hard Knocks, because you know they're doing a human interest story on him. They're going to zero in on guys like him. You'll see Aiden Hutchinson. You'll see Jamison Williams. You're going to see guys like him. And you'll see Jamal Williams, the class clown. And, of course, Dan Campbell and his band of merry men.
Okay, this could be the dumbest thing I've ever said on this network.
Really?
But I don't know, because I've said some dumb things, but this could be, Braylon, it's going to be directed to you.
Mark it down.
Because there's only one guy on this dais right now that could understand remotely what I'm about to say. What about a number change for Okudah as well, in terms of confidence? He's going to go from 30 to 23, and now he's going to wear the number 1.
Yeah.
Is that in any way... Yeah. Just wearing that number again that he wore in college, is that a confidence thing as well, to where you feel good in the number that you're in and you want to play like that? Does the number do anything?
It definitely does. That's not a dumb question. That's actually a great question. It's a great statement. When you change that number, so let's say for me, I changed from 80 to 1 when I was in college. When I went from 80, I went to 1. It's like I was a new person. It was like shedding skin for a snake or for a lizard. I shed the skin of number 80 and I turned into number 1. I was refined and I was getting better. And I think that's the same thing for him. He goes from 30 to 23, and now he goes to 1. I'm a new person. I don't want to be the Jeff Okudah that they call a bust. I don't want to be the guy that got injured. I don't want to be the guy that was drafted by Quintricia. I want to be this new guy. I want to be on this new mission, on this new journey. They believe in me. They gave me. They kept me here. A lot of people are getting traded and moved around in the NFL nowadays. I'm talking about after year 1, after year 2. They're moving guys. They didn't move them. They didn't trade him. They didn't try to. They kept him and told him, we believe in you. That goes a long way with a player like Jeff Okudah. So I think going to number 1, after everything that's happened in the last 2 years, you're going to see a new player. Not just a better player. You'll see a new player in all regards, because I guarantee you, sitting at home for 2 years, what it also allows you to do, teaches you how to study the game, teach you how to refine your position, how to break down film, how to break down wide receivers. What am I looking for when I'm looking at film? He's had nothing but time over the last year and a half to do that. So I think you're going to see a new player, and going to number 1, I think it can help him a lot.
That's a tough number, man. Because that's an easy number to lock in on.
Yeah.
I mean, the coach could say, hey, we're going at 1. We're going at 1. 1 sticks out. Double numbers, you could blend in with a double number. The PA announcer, they can always find number 1. 1's easy to find.
You're 100% right about that, man. And that makes it even more important that he did that. He went to the number that they're going to be looking for. He went to that number that when you see 1, I don't care what sport it is. If you see somebody wearing 1.
Billups, Mr. Big Shot.
And the list goes, you see somebody wearing number 1, you're like, oh, he must be the guy.
Yeah.
Like whether it's the leader, whether it's the most talented, whether it's whatever it is, you see 1, that's what you think. So the fact that he went to that number, it ain't because it looks sweet. It's because he believes that's who he is. And so, to Ryan's point, this could be a very important year for him and the Detroit Lions.
I wish him the best.
So, I kind of poo-pooed, the number thing, but I really do believe it is a swagger.
Yeah.
It is a swagger. I'll tell you, just in my own life, when I wear a new suit on the news, when I have a nice crisp shirt and crisp tie, and my weight is where I want it to be, I guarantee you I'm way better on that broadcast than I am when I look like a slob. Or even here, Braylon, when you got that nice tight, and you're all lined up, and your guns are popping out like that.
When he dresses for when he has his high school yearbook look on.
Oh man, you got that high school yearbook photo look
he's
going.
Got his high school yearbook
there is a certain swagger.
Teacher.
I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a certain performance that goes along with having a certain swagger about you.
Yeah.
And I do believe the number change will help him get a swagger, along with having a couple of extra years in the league. Yes, he's been riddled with injury. Yes, he has not been the player that I think a lot of people were hoping you'd get at number 3. But, man, personal growth, too. I'm a big Jeff Okudah fan. I think he's going to be a really good player this year, and I think the Detroit Lions and Detroit Lions fans are in for some excitement when it comes to number 1, Jeff Okudah.
I think another thing about it, too, man, is he wasn't some player that when we drafted, he was Eli Apple and his mother. When they drafted him, man, he was arrogant, and he was loud, and he was boisterous, and he he did all these things. And then when he got hurt, you could see a guy like, this guy doesn't take it serious. Or this guy, he's all talk, Jeff was always a good kid. Jeff was always a good player. And Jeff was always just quiet. He just got injured. He played for the wrong coach and the wrong GM. Now that same guy has had a year and a half to kind of sit back, watch, observe, work on his Achilles, work on his skill. I think he's already a good kid, and I think he's going to be a damn good player.
What about the NFL? What are they saying about the Detroit Lions and the NFC North? We'll give you the subplots to track as we gear up later this month, fellas. Training camp, here we go later this month. Really excited about that.
Is it here?
And do you miss it?
Hell
my God.
You miss training camp?
Hell yeah. It's easy for people to say, I don't miss training camp. But, man, a training camp is some of the most fun times you have. Now, practices are hard as hell, and the days are very long, especially when you play for certain coaches. But the jokes that you get in the dorm rooms, that you get in the hotel rooms, like the little festivities that you might do if you get a day off and go to the movies and you get the rookie show. It's just so many things that come with training camp that you can't get those experiences and those moments anywhere else.
Okay, I'll ask you now. When you were on a team that sucks, did you go to training camp and hope that you were going to be good, or oh man, we suck. We know we're going to suck. Or conversely, when you were, with the Jets, I know we're going to be good. We're going to be good. You know what I mean?
I've been on some teams that I knew we sucked, and you're just hoping that you can win 6 games. I've been on some teams that you're like, we could suck, or we could win 10 games.
Right.
And then I've been on the one time with the Jets. Nah, even the 49ers, but with the Jets, I thought we could go undefeated.
Yeah, unbelievable. That's a hell of a thing.
If you only had a quarterback.
If you only had a quarterback.
I don't think we lost the game by more. That 2010 season, I don't think we lost the game by more than 4 points.
NFL.com put out the NFC North preview to watch, subplots to watch. Have that for you next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts, have been for over 90 years, keeping you safe, giving you peace of mind. Whether you're at home or on the road, they're 24/7 local monitoring. Make sure what is important to you is safe. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT for peace of mind. That number again, 1-800-STAY-OUT right now. Let them know Woodward Sports sent you.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency. And SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
OddsTrader.com, the number one site for all your game day bets, play-by-play updates, live scores, and the best price on every game from multiple sportsbooks. That's right, multiple sportsbooks. Go to OddsTrader.com, plainly put, for just the best of everything.
Just looking, Maz, is this you that texted this? NFL and CBS tweets out, Ermanni Oruwariye might be the best player in the NFL that you haven't noticed yet.
Yep. We'll dive into that
tomorrow.
Dude,
this team is going to be good. And I just want everybody out there to get ready for it.
Yeah.
Get ready for it.
Get ready. We've been waiting for 65 years.
But allow your... No, here's the thing. But because of that, Maz, I think
people's grandfathers have been dead without a championship.
Because of what you said, though, because we've been waiting for 60-some years. People don't allow themselves to get excited because they don't want to be let down again. So they got to wait and say, well, I'll wait till they win a playoff game before I get on board. Well, you've wasted the whole season, and you've ruined the season for yourself.
Listen, we don't have to wait. We got all 1 o'clock games. We're ready.
Oh, my gosh. All right, guys. So
you do have to get on board, though. I mean, you make a good point. You got to get on board before it's too late, because you also don't want to be that guy that when they are on board, because you know how those people are. The guys and girls that sit in the back, no. It's like Major League Baseball. Remember Major League? He said, no, they didn't get on the bandwagon until they were about to make the playoffs. You don't want to be that guy. It's like, I told you. No, you didn't. You liar. You were off from the start.
So NFL.com came out with an NFC North training camp preview story. They list 5 subplots to watch. I guess I'm not going to read all of them.
This is Kevin Patra.
I can read a couple of them.
Sure.
The first subplot to track for the Detroit Lions: how high can hometown first-round pick Aiden Hutchinson be as a rookie? The Lions will hopefully look to turn around year 2 of Dan Campbell, 30th in the league in sacks. Hasn't had a consistent, relentless edge rusher since Robert Porcher. If Hutchinson is that man, it'll help the entire process, including the secondary that was better than its numbers were last year, but because of the toothless pass rush, they were meaningless. So obviously, pass rush for the Detroit Lions, 1, 2, and 3.
Absolutely.
Is it not?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's got to be him. You got to get to those quarterbacks. I mean, and you talk about the quarterback position in the NFL today. You got to have guys on the opposite side. We talk about the Myles Garrett's. We talk about Aaron Donalds. We talk about Von Miller. We talk about those guys. That's how you have success, is getting to that quarterback. That's what they got to do. But it helps, like we said, when you have defensive backs like Ermanni or who you just talked about. It helps when you have a guy who we believe with Jeff Okudah may be able to do this year, what we think he's going to do this year. They went back and paid Tracy Walker because they saw something in him. They like Tracy Walker. And I think we keep saying that we like what Brad Holmes has done. We believe in Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes chose to run it back with a lot of the young players on this NFL team as opposed to going after some of these high-priced veterans and guys. So with that being said, if you believe in Brad Holmes, then believe in him in all aspects. And him picking up some of these players and not going after these high-range Bobby Wagner's, Von Millers, like the Jags did, you got to believe in the whole totality of the process. I think to Ryan, I don't want to go as far as you saying they're going to win 10 games. They're going to be a much improved team, and they're going to surprise you because if they got the 9 wins this year, it wouldn't shock me.
Hey, we laughed. We're running it back with our 3-13-1 team. Remember, we all said that.
We did.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I damn sure did.
We're running it back. We're running it back. But like you said, if we trust the general manager and the coaching staff, here we are.
So funny when you say run it back because again, for the Michigan State crowd out there, I get printouts for everything, by the way. I didn't personally. But you talk about running it back. And the notable acquisitions, re-signings, David Blau, Tim Boyle, Josh Reynolds, Alex Anzalone. You bring back Jared Davis, Tracy Walker.
Yep.
I mean, all run-it-back guys, right?
That's it.
Number 2 on this list, the Lions injected firepower into the offense into the form of DJ Chark, eventually Jamison Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and TJ Hawkinson, primed to really break out. All tons of praise for Ben Johnson and Jared Goff, who are suggesting that he is a different player than he was in year 1 in Detroit.
That being said, when you name some of that list, when you look at those names on that list on the offensive side of the ball, when you look at what they have overall on offense, I don't mind the running it back. There's two positions that I want them to go after. I want them to go after a safety. One of the big games, I wanted Tyrann Mathieu or I wanted Quandre Diggs to come back. Obviously, that didn't happen. And then I want them to protect the quarterback position by getting a backup quarterback that was worthy or that was comparable, that you could put in a quarterback controversy in the beginning of the season or in training camp. Didn't get either one of those things. But as it relates to the guys on offense, that offense is stacked. You got one of the best offensive lines in football. You got 6 wideouts. We couldn't even find one last year outside of Quintez Cephas, and now we have 6. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown came on late last year. You still have a guy like Josh Reynolds, who may not be the guy on the field that's scoring 10 touchdowns, but he's the guy that's leading that group. He's leading that room because he's been on teams with the Rams before. And on the defensive side of the ball, Charles Harris seemed like he came into his own last year. Now you add Aiden Hutchinson. Yeah, on the opposite side of him, and we talked about Ermanni Oruwariye. We talked about that. That's why I said this team could be a lot different, a lot better than they were last year. Brad Holmes saw something last year. Brad Holmes believed in these guys, and like you said, Dan Campbell is a team guy. Dan Campbell is a guy that cares about his players because he is a former player, and I'm sure they had many conversations where Brad and Dan were talking like, should we get this guy? Should we keep this guy? Should we bring in one of these studs? Should we do this? I guarantee you, Brad Holmes listen to Dan Campbell tell him, keep this young core, give me these young guys, let me coach these young guys. I guarantee I can bring out something in these guys. That's what you're going to see this year.
If you still don't run the ball, what though? I don't think you could win. Swift's got to stay healthy. Jamal Williams has got to run in between the tackles. And you got to run the ball to win the game.
Look at you, number 4 on this list. And I'll just read these because I know I'm coming up against it. Number 3, subplot to watch, injuries. Starting with Jeff Okudah. If Okudah, who's played in 10 games in 2 years, can be much improved, stay healthy, and finally live up to his draft standing, that would be a plus for the Detroit Lions. Also, Jamison Williams, ACL, Romeo Okwara with the Achilles. Number 4. On this list. How will the Lions plan to utilize their running back duo of DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams? If healthy, Swift provides that home run ability. Deuce Staley, running backs coach, challenged Swift this offseason, suggesting that if he wants a bigger role in Detroit, to work for it. Both backs expected to share duty. It's a position worth watching, especially if Swift shows the pop. And then lastly, Hard Knocks, baby. The inside look at the Lions training camp could offer insight into a team that usually keeps things close to the vest.
I'm going to be interested in watching that running back battle because obviously DeAndre Swift is the guy. Jamal Williams is right up under him. But Jamal Williams runs between the tackles. Jamal Williams goes to get the first down. He goes to get what's there. Sometimes, and this is not to his knock, but sometimes it can be. When you got guys that are as explosive and guys that are as freakish as DeAndre Swift, sometimes they do things that are unnecessary. Sometimes they'll try to jump over 6 people. And I hate that. I hate when you jump over. Now, we saw him do it against Green Bay, and it looked really good, but then he was injured the following week later. So sometimes with that, it'd be good to have that battle because he'll see Jamal Williams getting yards, just picking up yards, just making first downs, making plays. And sometimes for yourself, it's like, you know what? I need to do more of this as opposed to all these highlight stuff because I need to stay healthy and I need to beat him out. So I think keep your eye on that in training camp in the beginning of the season. It's DeAndre Swift not trying to do as many electric things. He's already electric naturally. He's built. You see, look at his father. Just go out there and play football like you did at Georgia.
Yeah, Swift is built like Hercules now. He's really beefed up. Yeah. I don't know if that really translates into, I mean, look at Saquon Barkley. Yeah. Just stay healthy and run the damn ball. Jamar Jefferson, get healthy. I mean, he looked like he had some excitement last year.
It's true. Had a good game against Denver, was it?
Yeah, I hope he gets healthy. He could be a good running back.
Side note to the Hard Knocks. Going to be interesting to see how the coaching staff, full of former players, Aaron Glenn, Aubrey Pleasant, Mark Brunell, Antoine Randall L., and Deuce Staley, interact with their players. That could be every bit as exciting as the actual players in today's Detroit Lions.
That's why I said Dan Campbell and his cast of characters.
Watching those as coaches' meetings.
Yep.
Oh, my God.
It's going to be loud because they're not holding. The one thing about former players, they're not holding punches. They've been in those meeting rooms. They know exactly what you know. They've been through exactly what you're going through or you've been through. They're going to tell you not what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you need to hear. And they're going to tell you sometimes some stuff that you might not want to hear. But that's what we as the fans want to hear when we're watching Hard Knocks.
All right, guys, top of the hour. We're going to grab Sam Webb. He is all things dialed into the Michigan Wolverines. What about the new president? What does it mean for NIL? How about Jim Harbaugh's recruiting class? Where are the Michigan Wolverines going to do in the preseason with J.J. McCarthy and Cade McNamara? All things Michigan with Sam Webb. We'll do it next. Ermanni and Edwards. But first, a message from Gypsy Vodka.
Gypsy Vodka, the best vodka in Michigan. Now they present you with a seltzer. That's right. The Mulligan by Gypsy Vodka. 8% alcohol, and that is 8%. That isn't 5. That is a real 8. Support Michigan distillers. Adam and Mike, Michigan State guys. They got it right with this one. Iced tea, lemonade, mango are the flavors, and it is smooth. You don't have to get on the golf course. You can even have it in the backyard while you're barbecuing this summer. Little Gypsy Vodka, little Mulligan, put them together, and what do you got? Iced tea, lemonade, refreshness, the mango. The Mulligan by Gypsy Vodka.
Detroit's downtown summer playground is back. Open all summer long, the Monroe Street Midway. Enjoy roller skating, free Wi-Fi, food trucks, art installations, and so much more. Don't forget to take advantage of the basketball court, putt-putt, and, of course, family programming all summer long. All art installations are done by Detroit artists, and it's a fun, safe event from people 1 to 100. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
The Academy of Warren is enrolling K through 8, kindergarten through 8th grade, and the Academy of Warren features AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K through 8 athletics that features a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, and soccer field. It also can be used for 7-on-7 football. Enroll today at academyofwarren.net. Again, that is academyofwarren.net.
Welcome in, Woodward Sports Network, hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We got Fletch and Flannel in the house. If you are watching on YouTube, we ask if you could like the show.
Yeah.
You know, I was watching on, when I was out last week, I was watching on my TV on my couch.
Okay.
And I feel like there's no way to like the show on
the TV.
The TV.
Yeah.
Do you guys know how to do that? Anybody know how to do that? Is there a way to like the show if you're watching on TV?
Well,
I just don't know because you can't comment, right? There's no comment section.
You have, but see, mine is different. You have yours on Comcast.
Yeah.
See, I have Fire TV.
Okay.
So with me, I can use my remote like I'm on regular YouTube. So I actually can do it, but on Comcast.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So it's just like being on the laptop, but yeah. So
Interesting.
I can. Comcast, I don't think you can.
Well, we love Comcast anyway. Also,
you can watch the show, though.
Yeah, you can watch the show. Also, subscribe to Woodward Sports Network. 28.4 thousand subscribers. Pretty good, darn little number there. Good old Woodward Sports Network. Here we come, baby. Gonna get Sam Webb dialed in just a couple of minutes. Braylon, you know, one of the things about the Detroit Lions, just to put a bow on that, is
There's never a bow on the Detroit Lions.
There's never a bow on the Detroit Lions. I do feel like if there was an NFL game amongst coaching staffs,
we'd win.
We'd win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, finally.
I mean, dude, Deuce Staley looks like he could still just run between the tackles.
And even though he was a big running back, like he had quickness, deceptive quickness, feet, vision. Like Deuce was a big guy, but Deuce, he messed you up in that hole, man.
And by the way, I saw, I don't think I told you this, I saw Aaron Glenn at Adachi a couple of weeks ago.
I did not know that.
Oh, my God. I bought him a drink. I said, see that guy over there? Send him and his wife a drink over there.
There you go.
Yeah.
Did they accept?
Don't tell them who it's from.
Did you end up talking?
No, I just kind of walked by.
Oh, you played it smooth?
Yeah.
Look at you.
Send him a drink.
Smooth.
Come on, man.
So when we get Aaron Glenn during the season, I know why.
How'd that work out for you?
Good. I mean, it was fine.
Yeah. Nice.
I walked by. He's having dinner with his wife. I'm not going to bother him.
You could have
You
said
know, I
hi.
said hi. I mean, I walked out and said, how you doing? You know,
Sometimes,
good.
but that's how it should go sometimes. Like, you know, there'll be a time and a place. Sometimes, like, I'm sure you and your wife go out and people want to come up and bombard.
I love it. I love it. You want to come say hi to me, say hi.
Say, come say hi.
How about in the men's room?
In the, so weird.
It's so awkward.
How about in a crowded men's room?
It's always awkward.
We were at the golf outing on Monday, and I'm taking a leak. And then I wash my hands or whatever. The guy comes.
That's a small men's room.
It's a small men's room. The guy comes in, says, "Oh my God!"
It's downstairs.
You know, this, that, and the other thing. I don't want to say what he said, but he's like, "Oh," and he pulls out his phone and wants to take a picture in the bathroom. You got guys standing there, with their, thing in their hands, situations in their hand. I was like, "Let's step outside the door." It's pretty fun. Do we have Sam Webb now or no? We do not have Sam Webb yet. We are working.
We're still working on it.
We're still working to get, because this is the first time we've ever done an interview before, Maz.
Well, no, it's a V-Mix,
I
and
know,
Sam's
it's
on
that
location.
V-Mix.
Does anybody else have any peace stories? Since we're just
man.
been waiting.
You can talk about Deshaun Watson if you'd like.
Well, I'm not ready to talk about Deshaun
Okay.
Watson yet, but either way, it's fine. I mean, I got things
Talk
I could
about Santa.
I got things I could talk about.
Okay.
I just wasn't sure what we were going to do here. But it's totally fine. I appreciate that. Braylon, read some of the comments. How about that?
Okay,
Let's get to
there
some
you
of the comments. There's a lot of trolling going on in this chat, by the way, and I don't understand what is going. If you ever read some of the chats, I mean, sometimes it has nothing to do with what we're discussing on the show. There are guys going back and forth now about the NHL. About the signings. The Red Wings have made some signings. And guys, so here's the deal too with this. You know, we're out here doing the show. I don't have a lot of this stuff up. I mean, the Red Wings have made some signings here today, and we can get that for you momentarily. Andrew Kopp. This is 4 hours ago. We talked about that. Red Wings free agent signee. The Red Wings signed center Mark Casper to a 3-year entry-level deal. Kopp's coming home. That's what it says from the Red Wings Twitter. I mean, the Red Wings Twitter just starts tweeting this stuff out. Pretty cool stuff.
Marco
Polo.
Marco Casper. Number 8 pick overall. I mean, the good thing about it is, you look what the Red Wings did in terms of the three players they picked up today. One was the 8th best, and that was Kopp. In terms of free agent, he was number 8 listed free agent in this offseason. And then the second was number 23 was Mar, and then I want to say the last one was 43rd, a little low. But you got a guy that was 23, and you got a guy that was 8. So you're picking up some players that can play. And Kopp, like I said, is a two-way player. It's going to be a good one for him. He's a defenseman. He's a leader. He's a veteran guy. And it gives us somebody, when we go to that second line, you got a leader out there and a guy that can play in that second line with experience. So I think that definitely will help out the Red Wings. And with Scotty Eisman is also, with Steve Eisman, excuse me.
You were thinking Scotty Bowman. I was
exactly.
it's hard sometimes.
Sometimes, you know what I'm saying? You get them all mixed together. But that's what Stevie B wants to accomplish. And getting players like this, adding them to the roster, along with Marco Casper, the first round this year, it's going to help the Red Wings.
So the best website for all these, by the way, tsn.ca. I mean, that free agent tracker
Ben Sherratt
is second to none. Mark Stahl to Florida. Eric Stahl to Florida. How about that? That's pretty cool. Ben Chariot. Chariot. He's Chariot to me, guys. You call him Sherratt. I'm going to call him Chariot all year. Yeah, thank you. We got Sam Webb. I'm going to take a break. We'll come right back. Are we doing a read? Are we not doing a read? No read. Yes, read? Okay. We'll do my bookie. Sit down, Maz. You got to do my bookie. We're going to get it together here. You know, the old VMix system is my favorite system because you can never get people when you want it. But it is what it is.
Oh, all right.
Love VMix. Maz, take it away. Save me.
Thanks for hanging in there,
Chariot.
Sam Webb. We'll get you right now.
Chariot.
If you're putting your bets in on Sam Webb being in, you can put all your money on him because he will be on right after our break. And if you're a first-time bettor on MyBookie, you're in luck because if you use the promo code Woodward, they're going to double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. That's right. It is as easy as that. Woodward is your promo code, and $1,000 right in your pocket, free to do whatever you want with it.
Sorry, dude. I'm like
bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. If you have a gambling problem, and we don't, call 1-800-270-7117.
Cherry.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Hello? Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Make sure you're listening to Woodward Sports all day long. Start your morning with the Morning Woodward Show. Spend middays with Big D Energy. Watch and listen your drive home with the Bottom Line. And don't forget about Woodward Bets Daily. All live, all right here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards. Braylon, I'm going to keep going on. We're having trouble with the camera, so there's that. I got some stuff here. Okay, so we're just going to continue on, guys, until I get them. Just let me know when we got them. If not, no biggie. Which way do we? Well, let's talk a little NBA. What the hell? I don't know. I got 2 segments. I'm trying to. It's fine. It's fine.
Basketball, you want to go to NBA?
Sam!
It's live TV.
I know. Well, it is, but it's not.
I know.
Sam, you there,
We're
bud?
low budget live TV.
Yeah, I'm here. You got me?
Oh, there we go. I got you. You froze it again on us, but it's fine. Maybe we should just do a phone call. You want to just do?
Why don't you just talk to him and see if you hear him?
Sam, you can hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, there we go. All right. Sam Webb, good to have you, my friend. Publisher of the Michigan Insider, WTKA. Sorry, the last couple of minutes have been a disaster for me, but it's all fine and good.
Look at me. I'm not even on camera.
It's
a
fine.
beautiful thing.
Hey, Sam, let me ask you, Santaono, the new president of the University of Michigan, how important is this hire to what Michigan is trying to do athletically?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. By the way, hi guys. Hey man, you got to roll with the professional punches, right? Right.
That's what we do.
100%. That's what we do.
I think that he has a lot on his plate, man. I know that sports fans, Michigan sports fans, would love for sports and NIL specifically to be at the top of his agenda. But man, he has a lot of cleaning up to do, stepping into the leadership position here at the University of Michigan. I mean, he's replacing a president who was fired in scandal. There was a sexual harassment deal that with a provost that was a big black eye on the university, and then he had his own. President Schlissel had his own sort of inappropriate relationship with a subordinate that came out through emails on the university platform. So you got to restore the faith and leadership on campus, which goes far beyond athletics. And then when you get into talking about the impact on sports, I think it's beneficial that you have a president who comes in that is supposedly an ardent sports fan, is really about engaging the alumni, engaging the students, engaging the faculty. You see him very present on social media. But I'm just not convinced that he's going to step in and be like, okay, I'm going to step in, I'm going to change this NIL approach. First of all, I don't know what real experience he has with that, or what's his depth of knowledge about NIL coming in the door. That's number one. And then number two, when he goes to athletics and asks them what's the problem with NIL, who's going to tell them that the problem is the approach? Because I think Ward is totally fine. I think the approach of Ward's comes to transformational over transactional, which is what they've been saying. I think the approach is Jim's too. I think that is very much how Jim Harbaugh really, really wants it. Transformational over transactional. He's saying it to parents. He's saying it to recruits. And so there's no disconnect between Ward and Jim. You got one of the regents in Jordan Acker saying the same thing. So when the president goes to athletics and asks, hey guys, what's the problem? I think they're going to say the problem is the rules. The problem are the NIL rules, not our NIL approach, which I know that's not what fans want to hear. You know, I mean, I would love it if their approach was like we see a lot of other schools attacking it, but it's not. And I'm very much in a it is what it is mindset as far as that's concerned, and waiting to see if they're going to be able to, maintain or achieve the level of success everyone wants them to, even with that approach.
So, Sam, what up, Sam?
What's up, B?
Yeah, man, nothing too much, man. Nothing too much. Same old, just different day, different dollar. But so with that being said, it sounds like I'm hearing that it doesn't matter who the president is. It doesn't matter. It's because the president is going to be Jim Harbaugh. It's just how Jim Harbaugh and Ward go together is how the University of Michigan sports goes. So what can he really do? Just listening from you, how can he help Michigan based on that? What you said in the first beginning.
So I think, look, if the president came in and said, "Hey, you know what? We are going to engage." This is what's going on. You got a real pay-for-play scenario going on in intercollegiate athletics with NIL. That's just, now, is it supposed to be that way? No. I mean, the spirit of the rule is NIL is you're supposed to have deals, endorsement deals, if you call them that, to use their name, image, and likeness. The way schools are using it on the recruiting trail, that's recruiting inducement. Basically, if you side with us, you're going to have this deal. They're promising deals, not directly, but indirectly through collectives and donors. Case in point, the dude down in Florida or down in Miami, the transfer who transferred from Kansas State, and collective and
hey Sam,
I had 100 tickets been on.
Sam, I'm gonna put you on hold.
Yeah.
We're losing you again. We're gonna take a 30-second break. We're gonna come right back, and we're gonna get you again. But first, a message from SMA. SMA coming strong.
SMA, the sports marketing agency, helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Sean Jordan and NFL alumni do an amazing job with their podcast. This is the F word, and the F word standing for fentanyl, which is a major, major problem that we have in Michigan and other wastes as well. Fentanyl is what F stands for, and they are doing a hell of a job creating guidelines. I gotta start over. I'm so mad about what's going on with that situation. SMA Sports Marketing Agency, they do an amazing job. Sean Jordan, NFL alumni, presents This is the F word standing for fentanyl, on there talking about mental health as well as addictions. If you or anyone you know has a problem, or you may have a problem, just go to the website, thesportsma.com, or tune in to the podcast, This is the F word, and find out how you can get help with someone you know can get help.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today, or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play. And before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Hey, everybody, who wants a free Woodward t-shirt? Who wouldn't? I certainly would like one. Get a free Woodward Sports t-shirt. That's right, a free Woodward Sports t-shirt all month long from Big Frog in Novi. Just stop in, tell them we sent you. They will print one right there on the spot for you at Big Frog in Novi. Today, get your free t-shirt. Visit them right now online at bigfrog.com/Novi.
All right, Woodward Sports Network, Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazawey. We'll get Sam on the phone. The internet is just too spotty, and we think it's better suited for the conversation to happen over the phone instead of getting the camera and everything situated. In the meantime, one of the things that Sam was talking about was that Santa Ono, while we all, us football fans, would love for his first priority to be NIL and giving Jim and Juwan everything they ever wanted with their programs, he's got bigger fish to fry, but this is a big fish too, the athletic department.
It's a major fish, you know, and I want to ask the question when Sam comes back on, because the way in which he made it sound like it doesn't matter who the president is, because Jim Harbaugh has made up in his mind that we're transformational. We're not transactional. I don't need Jordan Addison making more money than me. It makes it seem that way because the way in which in football, the way in which NIL is explained to me and the way in which I understand it is, look, you get these guys to do a service. If you want to work with Les Stanford, you tell Les Stanford, hey, Les Stanford, we got this wide receiver that's coming here out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. We need this guy. He's a 5-star. We really want him. Is there any way that you can promise him a deal with Les Stanford? I think we got Sam on the phone.
All right, we'll get Sam back up here. Sam, how are you? Sorry about the internet connection. It is what it is, but thanks for joining us on the phone.
Absolutely, man. Glad to be on.
So, Sam, just getting back to kind of what we were talking about with Santa Ono and the impact of the president that he has on an athletic department, specifically here at Michigan with Jim Harbaugh, Juwan Howard, NIL. Right. It is a pretty significant deal, the athletic department. And by all accounts, Santa Ono likes sports. So that in and of itself is a good thing, right?
Right. Oh, no, it's a great thing. I think it is going to, I think, be a welcome sort of relationship with with the athletic department, with the AD, of course, and the coaches. But, getting back to the point that I was making before we got cut off, listen, I think that the fans see the problem differently than the admin and Jim. See, now, as you listen to Jim talk about, he's done interviews about this. He said he's offering transformational versus transactional opportunities. He wants guys to get on campus and earn their NIL deals once they get here. Ward has been very much aligned with that. If they weren't aligned on that, I think it would be very much like it was when COVID hit. You remember when COVID hit and you had Schlissel and Ward say, hey, we need to be, very cautious. We need to have a shutdown. You had Jim out there saying something very different. He was saying, hey, we need to be playing. We need to be out there. And he's, leading protests on campus. And, he actually challenged Schlissel at one point. So if he wasn't in agreement with Ward, you would know it. The same thing when you have one of the regents who's a really good dude named Jordan Acker, he's been saying, hey, transformational over transactional. So it's not just one person in athletics who feels the way that Jim does or Ward does or Jordan Acker at the regent level. You have multiple people who I think are going to say, well, the problem isn't us. The problem isn't how we're approaching NIL. The problem is how everyone else is approaching NIL. And the president is going to have to take his cues from them, and that's what he's going to be asking, guys, what's the problem? And I think they're going to say the problem is we need some rules, we need some guidelines to bring this in order. But I don't think they're going to say we need to be changing how we do what we do.
I do understand that, Sam, 100%, because we've talked about Notre Dame, Michigan State, Michigan kind of being those teams that are not following the Wild Wild West. They don't want to look up 8 years from now and say, well, I wish we didn't sell our soul to get those players and to win that national championship. So I understand that. But with that being said, don't you nowadays, haven't you shown improved in high school? These kids are going through these programs at 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. By the time they're 18 and they're done with high school, they're already ready to start for these programs. Look at how many kids in the SEC, they're ready as soon as they get there. They're ready to change the game. So technically, they've already shown improved. So if that's too much, can't we at least work with Les Stanford? Can we work with, I'm just naming our sponsor, can we work with Planet Fitness? Can we work with Guardian Alarm and say, hey, look, we got a 5-star wide receiver coming in from Grand Rapids. We need to get him in. Can you get this on the books? Let's get some type of deal, and maybe it's an escalator. Maybe you build the contract out like an actual professional contract. Hey, look, year one you get 60 racks or 70 racks. Year two, if you show some, 250. Isn't that something that can kind of, I guess, meet everybody halfway? So we're paying, but we're paying on an escalator and we're starting off low because we don't want to be the guy giving Jordan Addison $3.5 million with nothing behind it.
Yeah. So here's the thing. First of all, I'm the wrong person to be asking this question because my view is way different than most ADs and coaches and anyone involved in college athletics. Maybe even you, B. Yeah. I don't think you're selling your soul if you pay prospects. I think the amateurism model has been bumped from the beginning.
Agreed.
The amateurism when it started was not this idealistic thing that was meant to talk about scholarship and camaraderie and all the things that are celebrated now. Amateurism when it started was an exclusionary tactic. It was about keeping out the rank and file and common folk and trying to keep amateur athletics at the time, trying to keep them exclusive to the elite, to the affluent, because at that time, if you wanted to play amateur athletics and collect a check, well, you couldn't do both. The only people who could afford to not collect a check and play sports were rich people. And so that was the way that you were able to keep the rank and file down. So for me, I don't get caught up in the right way. To me, the right way is the way that the market demands at the time, because everyone else involved in intercollegiate athletics, whether it's the fans, when you go to an amateur football game, you don't pay an amateur price, right? You pay as much to go to a college football game as you do a pro football game. When you go to be a coach at one of these college football programs, you don't get an amateur salary. You get as much to be a college football coach as you do a pro football coach. Yep. And if you're a player, Braylon Edwards, like you were, it's not like you're just stopping the clock at 20 hours. You're putting in way more than 20 hours a week. So I'm not saying that they're pros. But I am saying that I don't see any problem with treating them a little more like pro. So that's me. Now, that's not Michigan's position, and that's not the position of most in intercollegiate athletics, and I get that. That's why I say I'm the wrong person to ask.
I think it's an interesting viewpoit to have.
I love it, though. I'm actually glad I did
I
ask.
love hearing that side of it, Sam. I think that's a really astute point of view on that, and I'm glad you shared that with us, Maz. I know you had something.
Yeah, Sam, I wanted to. We talked yesterday, Ryan and I. We had the show yesterday, and we had a bunch of people on. Jim Brandstad or one of them. We were talking about high school kids. There are high school, the private high schools are winning championships now over the public schools. You got kids moving all over towns now to these private schools. I mean, kids, they're getting paid in high school, man. They're getting paid in college. Michigan won their first championship in 20 years. 20 years. They're behind the 8 ball. What are we going to have to wait another 20 years for them to win again? What's Jim Harbaugh, what's he saying to these kids to let a kid, we had the kid from King in here on Friday, he's going out to Oregon. And I know Michigan State had a chance at him, and I know these kids, maybe he didn't want to stay in Michigan. Eugene, Oregon's gorgeous. They got the Nike money. They got Phil Knight. They got 100 different uniforms. I know that. But come on, man. He can't be serious. Is this guy, what is he, Rain Man?
So I hear the frustration, and see, like I said, I'm very much past that. 'Cause I think for something to change, you will have to start to see it impact them on the field. And in the short term, this approach is not going to – Michigan's going to be really good this year. And I think they're going to be really good next year. I think that if it impacts them, you won't really start to see it impact them on the field for a couple of years. Now, I say if because I think that they think they can still be as successful with this approach. That if what they don't get as far as having the access to the same number of prospects that maybe they had before, because you're going to have some guys who are just about NIL. My decision is made on NIL. Michigan's not going to get those guys. But there are going to be some players for whom you can overcome, you can mitigate that NIL disadvantage, because some guys are going to consider a lot of factors, and then they're going to say, NIL, I'm going to be all right with just the potential. I think that this kid, Nick Harbor, in Washington, D.C., the 5-star dual sport guy, also a track guy, I think he's one of those guys. I think Dante Moore from King was one of those guys. I mean, people are throwing out all these wild numbers, which I think are embellished. Now, do I think Oregon came with a great NIL pitch? Yes, I do. But do I think that's the only reason he went to Oregon? No, I don't. I think there are some other boxes that they could have checked that maybe they still can check down the line. Who knows?
Hey, Sam.
That could mitigate that gap.
Sam, how about one of those boxes? We were talking about this. And forget about the NIL, forget about money. I mean, we don't really know. I wish we did, because it would make the argument a lot better. But let's just take money aside for a second. Just look at what's on the field. Why would a kid like Dante Moore want to go play for Jim Harbaugh in Michigan when you have a guy like J.J. McCarthy, another 5-star guy, who sat on the bench for a couple of years, or a year?
I do. So I'm laughing because I think that's something that they looked at. I do think that's something that they looked at. Now,
1,000%.
What Jim Harbaugh cannot do is he cannot give J.J. McCarthy he can't make him the guy. But all things being equal, like if they're neck and neck, then I think it wouldn't just serve his team. I think it would also serve his recruiting pitch with a guy like Dante Moore. If JJ was very, very, very successful throwing it around the yard even more than they did last year, I think if they light it up, and specifically if JJ were to light it up, I think that would raise eyebrows. And that's not to say that you give him the job over Cade because of that. I'm just saying if we're talking about what might get Dante Moore, what might grab his attention, again, I think it'd be a couple things. Does Oregon, are they shoddy on the football field? Does this new offense that they're bringing in, does it look suspect? Meanwhile, is Michigan's offense as good as we think it's going to be with throwing the ball around the yard a little bit more? And are they doing it with J.J. McCarthy? I think those things are factors that would catch some attention. Now, I'm not advocating for that. I'm not saying that Jim Harbaugh should just give J.J. the job. So I don't need Cade or anybody else calling me saying I'm pushing for J.J. to have the job. We're talking about Dante Moore and what might impact him. At this stage, I think if nothing else, I think it is something that would catch his attention a little bit.
I got a question, but this is a statement more so than anything. I think Michigan struggles getting 5 stars now, and that was before you insert the NIL. Now you have the NIL. It's going to make it that much difficult for Michigan to get 5 stars, especially with Jim going out in public and saying it's transformational as opposed to transactional. I think there was a better way to find a Reddick in there, but hey, I'm not the head coach because I know if I was in there, I'd probably mess up a ton of things. But here's a better question for you. Let's get 100%. I'll mess some stuff up.
He'd hire me to be an assistant coach.
And that would get me fired right there. But at least we get fired together. No, but here's an actual football question. I know we believe in the offense this year. You believe in the running back field. You believe in the offensive line, the quarterbacks, etc. All that is true. Tell me why, as a Michigan fan, I should believe in this defense with all the defensive players that they lost last year. Why should I believe that this defense can be complementary to this offense and maybe get a back-to-back championship this season?
So look, I always shoot you the real. I think if you're watching it from a pure fan perspective, I think you got to go in being realistic, thinking that they're probably going to take a step back, man. I mean, but you have the offense to bridge the gap that will allow them the chance to grow up. You benefit from continuity in scheme. So Jesse Minter's coming in running the same stuff that Mike McDonald runs. So it's not the same kind of transition that you would see when you hire a new defensive coordinator, right? So they have familiarity. You have some guys that I think are ready to really step up and become playmakers defensively. I think Junior Colson is one of those guys, for instance, that's ready to step up and be a playmaker at linebacker. I think Mozzie Smith is a guy that's ready to step up and be a more consistent guy. And then you look on the back end. They got a lot of different guys talent-wise. I think R.J. Moten is the leader, but the guy that I think they really need to grow up is the local young fella. Mr. Will Johnson. It's just going to take a minute. You can't expect him to be that you week one, but you have the kind of offense. You got the kind of offense, Braylon and Ryan, and the kind of schedule that you should be able to give them some time to grow up. You give them time to grow up. You light up the scoreboard like you need to light it up. They should be ready to go against Ohio State at the end of the season.
I love this football team this year. Sam, I could keep you all day. If you got a couple more minutes, I got a lot more to ask you. Unless you got to go?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
I got a lot more to ask you about this football team this year. I'm excited now. We'll be right back with Sam, but first a message from the Folding Warehouse.
I'm glad you're in a good mood now, at least. If you go to the Folding Warehouse, you're always going to be in a good mood. Go see my man, Chris Hutt. 2 ways to play this great game in Hamtramck. Don't tell him Maz sent you, of course. 2 ways to play it, $12 unlimited open play and a private lane reservation. 10 or 12 of your closest friends and family. Cost you $120, but you get it on your own for 2 hours. So it's less than $10 per person. How about that bar? They can make any drink you want. They've got multiple full bars. The place is huge. That's right. We saved the H in Jersey. It's huge. And, of course, they've got over 100 beers to offer, so you can't name a beer that they don't have. The $2 mystery beer machine as well. So get your full on. Check them out at foldingwarehouse.com.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you want to know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
try a chicken club, chicken cordon bleu, or sunrise ham and cheddar, all on our grilled ciabatta bread. Or keep it light with our Michigan apple, chicken Caesar, or Greek salad. And don't forget to cool off with a frosty hand-dipped cookies and cream or strawberry shake. You heard it here first. Summer just got better.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
No mic, Sam. No mic.
That's because the phone's probably on.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's just do it later.
Oh, I got it.
There it is.
Planet Fitness is inviting high school teens between the ages of 14 and 19
great.
to work out for free all summer long, and it ends on August 31st via the High School Summer Pass. Planet Fitness is home with a judgment-free zone where you can work out in a non-intimidating, judgment-free atmosphere. Membership starting at just $10 a month.
Only $10?
Only $10, or you can get
geez.
a black card for
$10.
$24.99. Join in today in club or online at planetfitness.com. Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Back here on the phone with Sam Webb. He is just so dialed in. Publisher of the Michigan Insider on WTKA. You can follow him on Twitter at SamWebb77. Sam, just talking about this football team this year. I am so excited about these guys. I feel like after they beat Ohio State last year, won the Big Ten championship, go to the college football playoff, and then obviously the Georgia game was what the Georgia game was. But I felt the tide was turning a little bit to Michigan. It was going to tilt in our favor now, and I still think it will. How would you characterize the momentum Michigan football had on the day that they beat Ohio State until now? Because it does seem like they lost a little something when Harbaugh was out interviewing with the NFL teams.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was definitely a loss in momentum. I don't think it was just that. I think it was a big part of it, Jim, exploring his NFL possibilities. But you also had a big round of staff turnover. So both coordinators gone, right? And then your recruiting department got overhauled, too. I mean, Courtney Morgan, it should not be overlooked what a significant impact. I mean, Courtney Morgan, if you look at him and his impact on Michigan recruiting in just 1 year, I can point to 3 or 4 guys in that recruiting class that I would call him responsible for, and a couple of very, very highly rated guys. So you have momentum that you would expect to carry over to the recruiting trail kind of go stagnant, because not only did you have your head coach exploring his pro options, and understandably so, I get it. But you also had some coaches and some recruiting staffers move on as well. So it's been a disruption in momentum. The fortunate part of this is you got some continuity in scheme defensively, so you were able to hire that. And then, the guys that are going to be taking over on offense, they were around last year. You got Ronnie Bell coming back. You got some experience at quarterback this year. You got some experience on the offensive line this year. You're a lot more ready for the rigors of the season and to compete at a championship level this year than you were last year. So I think there's every reason to believe that Michigan's going to be one of the top teams in the country again.
I got to give you some love for giving Big Court some love. Courtney Morgan was there when I was there, as you know, man, and you are definitely right. He has his, I keep using this word earlier, talking about his finger on the pulse. Court knows how to recruit guys, man. I remember when Singletary was there, when Chris Singletary was there doing the similar job back in the mid 2000s, late 2000s. I was like, man, Courtney Morgan would be damn good at that job. And lo and behold, years later, I didn't think it was going to happen. But let me ask you a question as it relates to Jim Harbaugh. Let me ask you a question. Last year, you saw Jim Harbaugh change. We saw Jim Harbaugh go from, everything had to be about like him. He had to make all major decisions. I mean, it's just from the outside looking in. He had to be the one. He had to be in front of this. Last year, you saw, I guess, him look at himself and say, you know what? Let me let my coaches do it. Let me open my doors. I think those younger coaches, I think they gave him a little bit of something to look at and kind of pick and choose from and get better. And last year, everybody won at University of Michigan. Everybody from the players to the coaches. The players talked about the open door policy. Just talked about everything changing up there, the culture. Does Jim Harbaugh stay with that because it worked for him last year? Or does Jim Harbaugh, now that he's Big Ten defending champ, does he go back to kind of being the focal point for the university?
Man, it's an interesting question because I guess I didn't quite notice that as much as being that different last year. Maybe it was different with the players and the open door policy that the players felt like they had with him. But specifically as it relates to offense and how the offense is called, I mean, Jim had actually taken a step back when it came to his finger on the trigger play calling wise. He had actually taken his finger off that trigger a couple of years ago, and last year was a continuation on that front. Now, all the other things that you're talking about, I'll concede that maybe that's the case. I'm sure. As a matter of fact, I remember some players talking about that they felt like it was more of an open door policy and that kind of thing. I can't see that going anywhere. If you talk to Jim Harbaugh, I think he feels more. He felt more connected to his team last year than maybe most years that he's been here. He was really, really feeling that team, and I think they were really feeling him. But from a play calling perspective, I think you're going to see him rewind the tape. I think it's going to be like before Gaddis was there. I think it's going to be more of a collaborative play calling and game planning approach when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. And, he had a lot of success with that throughout his head coaching career before Josh Gaddis. So I think he's expecting to go right back to having that kind of success again.
Sam, there isn't a game on the schedule where Michigan should score less than 40 points a game, is there?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, with the talent that they have, man, and the experience. Now, remember, they didn't have a seasoned quarterback last year. They didn't have an offensive line that had played together at length last year. You didn't have established playmakers. Now you have all that, and you're getting Ronnie Bell back. You got to establish Donovan Edwards to go with Blake Corum. Man, they're loaded. They have the chance, the time to get that pump prime. So by the time you get later in the season and the games get that much bigger, they should be clicking on all cylinders. And my biggest question about them is how long will it take for them to settle on who the guy is at quarterback? Because I don't think that question gets answered in camp. I think they're going to go into the season with the quarterback battle still going on, sort of like we saw with Clemson a few years back with Kelly. Remember Kelly Bryant was coming off?
Absolutely.
Clemson winning the ACC championship. Yeah, and they went to the playoffs that year, and then he had to battle with Trevor Lawrence the next year, and Trevor Lawrence ended up getting 4 games into the season.
Sam, if you go back to, and I'm sure you remember this, if you go back to the Tom Brady, Drew Henson, for the first 7 weeks of the schedule, Brady's senior year, Brady started the first quarter, or Brady played the first quarter, Henson played the second quarter, and then whoever was the hot hand played the second half. I actually don't like that at all. But could you, and not so hard line, could you envision that happening for the first 7 weeks of the season or so? Just continuing to play the two guys until you settle on someone after week 7 or 8?
So to be clear, I don't see a scenario where J.J. McCarthy plays the same or less than he played last year. I don't see that. So if Cade McNamara winds up being the guy, I think that he's the guy getting the majority of the snaps, but you're going to see a liberal amount of J.J. McCarthy. He brings too much different to the table as far as mobility and arm talent and the way he can push the ball down the field to not use that. So I think that they will. Now, if JJ's the guy, then I think you wind up seeing them not split time because they're just you don't have that unique piece coming off the bench that is a change up to what J.J. McCarthy does. As I was talking to one of my guys this morning on the radio, Mike Bass, he said everything that Cade McNamara can do, J.J. McCarthy can do. But everything J.J. McCarthy can do, Cade can't do. So it changes the dynamic. If Cade's the guy, you probably see both guys, versus if J.J.'s the guy, I just don't think you see both guys as much.
Hey, Sam, I want to ask you one last question. Excuse me. Freaking sinus is killing me all day, man. Allergies, I mean. Give me a game on the schedule that's a very important game for Michigan. And what I mean by that is, obviously, we know Ohio State, best offense in the country. We know what that's going to be. We know Michigan State, what that game has been the last 2 years. So you know it's going to be this year. Give me a sleeper game that Michigan has to win, that they actually could be in jeopardy of losing, just as it looks before the season starts.
So a couple things. Since this is my last couple minutes, I got a couple things I want to get in and I answer your question. First of all, about recruiting. I want to make it clear that when I say or suggest that Michigan is being impacted by the NIL approach, and I think that's undeniable, I don't think that it's one of these scenarios where they'll never get another big-time place. I think they'll still get guys. I think they'll still get top 100 guys. I just don't think you'll see them routinely pull in top 10 classes anymore with this NIL approach. And so what that will mean is that they'll have to make up that gap with scouting and development. And then when they do have a chance to get a big-time guy, despite NIL disadvantages like Dante, who they missed, or like Nick Harbor, who, if you haven't seen Nick Harbor, go check this dude's tape.
6'3", 225.
Hey, man, 6'5", 225.
Oh, 6'5", that's right.
6'5", 225, man. Hey, the dude is a freak. He is an absolute freak, and I think that at this point, this is just my opinion, I think Michigan leads for him. So, they're going to be a team right now that I think competes at a championship level for at least the next couple of years, and then we'll see how well they recruit in that span. Now, as far as a game that you always got to watch out for, man, I got to say Iowa. Mm-hmm. Iowa is always that team, man. And when you think about it, it's the first road game of the season, and I just keep going back to times where Iowa came up and got Michigan. And the most recent of which was back in 2016. If Michigan does not lose that Iowa game, even if they lose to Ohio State, I think they're going to the playoffs, right? Or how about this? If they lose that Iowa game, but Wilton Speight doesn't break his collarbone, then I think they at least beat Ohio State. That Iowa game, to me, will always be a trap game. I know they beat the brakes off of Iowa last year, but that game is in Kinnick Stadium. Yeah. And Braylon, you've been there. You know what it's like.
It's a tough place to win.
It's never. Yeah, you can never take for granted going to Iowa City and winning. So I would pick Iowa.
They just don't beat themselves. That's what's so tough about them. Like, every team is going to make a mistake, except Iowa at home.
Sam, thanks so much, man. We certainly appreciate it. Love talking to you, buddy, and can't wait to do it again soon.
All right, anytime, guys. Appreciate it.
You got listen to Sam on WTKA in Ann Arbor. Of course, follow him on Twitter at SamWebb77. How about it? Great stuff there. Guys, got to get to a break. Come right back. Madison's videos of the day. But first, a message from Les Stanford Chevrolet. No secret, new cars are hard to come by. They are available, though, at Les Stanford. Got to make a plan. Allocation coming in for lease or purchase of new vehicles. Go get your next car at Les Stanford. You want to turn your car in early? Think you can get a good return on that coming up on your miles? Go to Les Stanford right now. And hey, you'll walk out with a check too. Why not? Ooh. Go do that. LesStanford.com. LesStanford.com. Find new roads.
Find
them.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey,
it's Scott from Woodward Bet Show. Hey, listen, we're starting to draft best balls. We're getting all excited about fantasy football. You guys got to make sure you're checking us out at 4:30. You also got to make sure you're checking out oddstrader.com. It's got live scoring, play-by-play updates, and the best place to check all the odds at the sports books right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get back to them fun coupons. That's all we want, fun coupons. Listen, we're going to take the Phillies today and Zach Wheeler. Wheeler's only lost one of his last 10 starts. Blue Jays have only won one of their last 10 games. Sounds good to me. oddstrader.com. Woodward Bets. Check it out.
Woodward Sports, Alta, and the American Cancer Society present The Big Dig, Saturday, July 16th at 275 East Highland in Howell, Michigan. The Big Dig allows children of all age a hands-on, immersive introduction into the field of STEM. Alta's professionals will help put you in the driver's seat. Bring the whole family for The Big Dig, July 16th in Howell.
All right, Alta. Guys, time of the day. We like to play Maz's videos of the day.
And now it's time for Maz's videos of the day, only on the Woodward Sports Network.
Hey, you know we've been talking about Zach Wilson and what a pimp he is, and bedded one of his mom's best friends. At least that's what his ex-girlfriend said. Well,
bedded.
He tweeted out today, "Hey guys, I've been away for the past few days. What did I miss?" It was kind of funny, a funny tweet if you want to check that out. How about his mom?
I'm just learning about this now?
Yeah, you're just learning about this now.
You're just telling me about this now?
Yeah, isn't that funny?
It would have been funnier at 2 o'clock.
Well, I'd have loved to have talked about that. I read it during one of your meltdowns today. Zach Wilson's mom, Lisa, put out a little something today. Check this out.
All the sexy, badass people got out of bed today. Check out these over here. Crank it up, you guys. Crank it up. Say good morning.
What'd she say?
Look at all my sexy friends. All the sexy girls got out of bed today. That's Zach Wilson's mom.
Yeah.
So she's saying she's got sexy friends.
She's a fitness warrior.
She is a fitness warrior. So no wonder Zach Wilson slept with one of her friends.
No kid.
There you go.
It seems like he might have threw him the alley-oop. Just judging from that video right there. His mom might have thrown him the alley-oop for one of his friends.
They got to eat it up.
No question about it.
Keep it in the family.
What do I got time for? One more? Maybe?
Yeah, one more, bro. I want more.
All right. How about Russell Wilson working out for his new team, the Denver Broncos? Oh, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah. Good. Good shape. Give me a 1. Give me a 3. Give me a 1. Ball. Come on. We're playing.
You got an NFL hot take.
How does he look?
You know what we got to do tomorrow? This is what we're going to do tomorrow, gang. Give me your NFL hot take. I want everybody to go home tonight and give me a hot take. I'll give you an example. I believe...
You already gave us a hot take.
What?
The Lions are going to win 10 games.
That's not a hot take. That's going to happen.
Okay.
Don't try and steal mine. Is it about Russell?
No.
Okay.
My hot take is that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to finish in last place in the AFC West.
Oh, hell no.
That is my
That's possible.
That is my NFL hot take. We can explore that more tomorrow.
You're going against Sam.
I want you guys to give me one tomorrow as well.
Sam's going to fight you. You know Patrick Mahomes is boy.
We can discuss tomorrow.
Wow.
That is my hot take.
Okay.
So I think that could be a fun little segment for us.
To answer your question, Maz, he looked damn good. But just like I told you guys last year when he got injured, I said I still believe in Russell Wilson. Last year he got injured. Like, you look at the year before last before he got injured. It's 4,400, 44 touchdowns. Like, this man can still play. He looks better, looks smaller than he has been.
Looks happy.
Look like he started. I wonder why he got the hell up out of there.
I got one more for you before you do your NFL hot take. You might want to look at this next video I'm going to put out. Someone said that they spotted Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold, the new teammates, that combined for the most interceptions in the NFL for the past 2 years, warming up on the beach.
Ooh-wee.
Check this out. Music, but here they are.
Oh, that's good and that's special.
Here they are.
Who's who? Neither one of them look like either one of them. Is that Baker in the light blue shorts?
Those are fake. Those are not.
That's Faker and Fam.
Yeah.
They look just like them, though,
Look
from,
at
the,
them,
from
look
the
at
arm
them.
standpoint.
It's Faker and Fam.
It's so terrible. That looks like the guy from, what's that movie? There's a football movie, and he was supposed to be a football player, and then he threw it like
horrible
chicken wing or something like that.
Oh, you talking about Uncle Rico?
No,
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. Hey guys, by the way, the Detroit Tigers losing 5-1 right now to the Kansas City Royals. The Tigers, Tarek Skubal, 5 innings, 7 runs. Or excuse me,
He's
5
tired.
innings, 7 hits, 4 runs.
He's tired.
He is tired. Akil Badu, first game up, he is 0 for 3.
No, yesterday got RBI.
Good. He
RBI yesterday.
What did I say? First game?
Yeah.
Oh, so either
You
way.
meant second game.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Akil Badu, 0 for 3. He's just struck out with the bases loaded to end the 6th.
That's tough.
End the
Did
6th.
Miggy steal a base?
Miguel Cabrera not in the lineup today.
Damn. Put up that graphic anyway,
stole a
Fletch.
paycheck.
Let's put up the Miggy graphic before we leave
Stole
at
a
least.
paycheck.
Yeah.
Check this out. He got another milestone for Miggy.
Look at that, 40. 40 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And that's something tied for 1,869.
See?
In his career.
There you go.
Very good. All right, guys, love you. Braylon, get us out of here. Very
good to be back. Good to be back with the game. Tomorrow we will be on our game. We promise that the internet connection will not be a problem for us. Shout out to Sam Webb. Always a pleasure to have him in, and Michigan's Insider, WTKA as well. Hey, fellas, let's bring those hot takes in tomorrow, man.
NFL hot
let's
take.
bring those hot takes in
NFL
tomorrow.
hot take day tomorrow. Give me as many as you like, by the way.
Don't worry, I'm coming in with the Claret in the morning.
You got
I'm
it.
not waiting till the show starts. For my man Flannel Sam, Fletch to my right, Maz on the couch, Ermanni to the left. I'm Braylon Edwards, and this is The Bottom Line.
Yeah.